There's a certain unease that creeps in when you sense someone around you isn't being entirely genuine. Maybe it's a friend who smiles at your success but avoids eye contact when you share good news, or a colleague who showers you with compliments, yet something about their tone feels off. Envy and deception rarely announce themselves loudly. Instead, they slip into interactions disguised as support, hidden behind warm words that lack true substance. The Stoics understood that external illusions can disrupt inner peace, and one of the greatest dangers is allowing deceptive and envious individuals to influence you. As Epictetus wisely said, keep company only with those who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. But how do you tell the difference between a true friend and one who secretly resents you? How do you recognize hidden envy and dishonesty before they entangle you in their web? Let's explore 10 key ways to sharpen your perception, protect your peace, and build relationships based on sincerity and respect. 1. Watch their actions, not their words. People can say all the right things, profess loyalty, promise support, even declare admiration. But words are cheap. Actions reveal the truth. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Have you ever had a friend who constantly talks about how much they value loyalty, yet disappears the moment you need them? Or a coworker who preaches teamwork but subtly undercuts others for personal gain? Words can be rehearsed, but consistent actions tell the real story. Take Julius Caesar's story. His downfall wasn't caused by his enemies, but by those who pretended to be his friends. If someone's behavior contradicts their words, trust the actions. 2. Notice how they react to your success. Success has a way of exposing people's true feelings. When you achieve something, a promotion, a milestone, or even just a happy moment, how do those around you react? Do they genuinely celebrate with you? Or do you sense a shift? Envy hides in forced smiles, lukewarm congratulations, or a quick subject change. Some may even downplay your achievements, saying, "Must be nice," or "You got lucky." A true friend rejoices in your victories. A resentful one sees them as a threat. Consider this. You tell a friend about a new job opportunity. Instead of excitement, they say, "Wow, must be nice to have connections." It's a subtle way of dismissing your hard work. A genuine friend would cheer you on without resentment. 3. Observe how they treat those who can't benefit them. Want to know someone's true character? Watch how they treat people who have nothing to offer them. Waiters, janitors, receptionists. Some people are kind to those in power, but dismissive toward those they deem unimportant. That's a red flag. The Stoics believed that virtue is measured by consistency. Marcus Aurelius, despite being an emperor, treated everyone with dignity. Epictetus, who was born a slave, taught that true character is revealed when no reward is at stake. Have you ever seen someone act friendly with their boss but rude to a cashier? That's not kindness, it's calculation. If someone's kindness depends on status, it's not real. 4. Distinguish between praise and flattery. There's a fine line between genuine praise and manipulative flattery. Praise is honest and encouraging. Flattery is excessive, insincere, and often hides an agenda. Seneca warned, "He who praises you more than he should has in his mind either to deceive you or to make use of you." Be wary of those who constantly shower you with compliments, yet never challenge you or offer constructive feedback. They may be setting you up for manipulation. Think of the classic yes man in corporate settings. They agree with everything the boss says, not out of respect, but to stay in their good graces. True friends will be honest with you, even when it's uncomfortable. 5. Pay attention to subtle undermining. Sometimes envy disguises itself as helpful advice. Are you sure you can handle that promotion? It sounds stressful. I don't want you to get your hopes up too much. While this may seem like concern, it's often a way to plant doubt. A supportive person encourages you to reach your potential. An envious one subtly discourages you to keep you from rising too high. 6. Watch for the victim mentality. Envious people often see themselves as perpetual victims. If someone always blames others for their misfortunes and resents those who succeed, be cautious. Their negativity can drain you, and their resentment can easily turn toward you if you start thriving. Notice if they only reach out when they need something. A real friendship is mutual. If someone only contacts you when they need a favor but disappears when you need support, they're not a true friend. They're using you as a resource. 8. Be wary of backhanded compliments. You're so lucky things just work out for you. I wish I had time to focus on myself like you do. These are not compliments. They're veiled jabs. True friends uplift you without resentment. 9. See if they enjoy others' failures. If someone delights in gossiping about others' struggles, rest assured they will do the same to you. A person who finds joy in tearing others down is someone to keep at arm's length. 10. Trust your intuition. Your gut often picks up on things before your mind fully processes them. If someone makes you feel uneasy, if their words don't match their energy, don't ignore that feeling. You don't need to explain it logically. Just be mindful of how they make you feel and act accordingly. Final thoughts. The Stoics taught that peace comes from wisdom, and wisdom comes from seeing people as they truly are, not as we wish them to be. Surround yourself with those who celebrate your growth, treat others with kindness regardless of status, and uplift you with sincerity. Let go of those who envy, deceive, or undermine. In doing so, you'll protect your peace, cultivate meaningful relationships, and navigate life with clarity, just as the Stoics did. So, who in your life truly supports you, and who just plays the part? Pay attention, and you'll have your answer. The hidden danger of flattery. How to spot manipulation, disguised as praise. We all love hearing good things about ourselves. Compliments feel great. They boost our confidence, make us feel appreciated, and sometimes even give us the motivation to push forward. But what if I told you that not all praise is genuine? What if I told you that excessive flattery can be a warning sign, something used by people who don't actually have your best interests at heart? Because here's the truth. Some people praise you not because they admire you, but because they want something. They use flattery as a tool, whether it's to gain favor, manipulate your perception, or keep you off guard. And if you're not careful, you might mistake empty praise for real support. The dark side of flattery. Imagine this. You have a coworker who constantly tells you, "You're amazing. You're the smartest person in the room. I don't know what we'd do without you." At first it feels good. Who wouldn't want to be recognized? But then you start to notice something strange. When you're not around, this same person downplays your accomplishments. They take credit for your ideas. They never defend you when others question your work. Suddenly, all that praise feels off. Or picture a so-called friend who always agrees with you. No matter what you say, they nod and say, "Wow, you're so right." But when you actually need advice, when you're making an important decision, they give you nothing. They don't challenge you. They don't help you grow. They just keep feeding you what you want to hear. That's not support. That's manipulation. History's ultimate cautionary tale. Julius Caesar. This pattern isn't new. It's played out countless times throughout history. One of the most famous examples, Julius Caesar. As Caesar gained power, he was surrounded by men who showered him with praise. They called him a god. They told him he was untouchable. They convinced him that he was more than just a ruler. He was destiny itself. But behind the scenes, many of those same men resented him. Their flattery wasn't admiration. It was a smokescreen for their true intentions. And when the time was right, they betrayed him. Some of his most trusted allies, the ones who praised him the most, were the very ones who stabbed him, literally. And this isn't just a story from ancient history. The same thing happens in modern workplaces, friendships, and even relationships. People who flatter excessively are often the first to turn on you when you no longer serve their interests. So how do you spot real praise versus manipulation? How to identify genuine praise? The key difference between flattery and real support is depth and consistency. A genuine person will tell you when you've done something great, but they'll also be honest when they see room for improvement. They won't just tell you what you want to hear, they'll tell you what you need to hear. A real-life example. The honest mentor. Think about the best teacher, mentor, or boss you've ever had. Were they the ones who just handed out empty compliments, or were they the ones who pushed you to be better? A good mentor doesn't just say, "You're doing amazing, keep it up." They say, "This is great, but here's how you can improve." They challenge you, not to tear you down, but to help you grow. And this is how you can test someone's sincerity. If they only ever praise you and never offer constructive feedback, their compliments are probably not real. The disappearing act. When praise stops another red flag, someone who showers you with compliments when they need something, but disappears when you don't serve their interests anymore. Ever had a boss who constantly praised you when they needed you to take on extra work, but the moment you asked for a raise, suddenly your work wasn't that great anymore? That's not appreciation. It's manipulation. Or maybe you've had a friend who hyped you up when you were doing well but went silent the moment you faced struggles. Real support doesn't come and go based on convenience. It stays steady, even when there's nothing to gain. Watch for inconsistency. Actions speak louder than words. Flattery isn't just about words, it's about behavior. A person's true nature isn't revealed in a single moment. It's shown over time. The two-faced friend. Have you ever had a friend who acts differently depending on who's around? When it's just the two of you, they're warm and supportive. But when other people are present, they distance themselves, or even act dismissive toward you. That's a sign of someone who isn't authentic. People with integrity are consistent. They don't change their loyalty based on the situation. The Stoics believed that character is measured by what people do when no one is watching. If someone's support for you fluctuates based on external factors, they're unreliable. And unreliable people are dangerous to keep around. How people handle criticism reveals their true nature. Perhaps the biggest test of character is not how someone reacts to praise, but how they handle criticism. The defensive colleague. Imagine you're at work and a teammate makes a small mistake. You gently point it out, thinking they'd want to know. A confident, self-aware person might say, "Oh, good catch, I'll fix that." But a person ruled by insecurity, they'll deflect, deny, or attack. "Well, it wasn't really my fault." You always have something to say, don't you? Yeah? Well, you've made mistakes too. Their reaction isn't about the mistake, it's about their ego. People who can't handle even the smallest criticism without becoming defensive are often the same people who secretly feel threatened by you. The downfall of Napoleon. Even some of history's greatest figures fell victim to this. Take Napoleon Bonaparte. Once a brilliant strategist, he became increasingly resistant to advice as his ego grew. He surrounded himself with people who flattered him rather than challenged him. When critics warned him that his overconfidence in conquest would lead to disaster, he dismissed them. He refused to listen. And in the end, it cost him everything. Final thoughts. The Stoic way to handle praise and criticism. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not let either praise or criticism affect your sense of self." This is the ultimate Stoic lesson. Don't let flattery inflate your ego and don't let criticism break you down. So here's what you can do. Be cautious of excessive flattery. If someone constantly praises you without ever offering real insight, question their motives. Watch for consistency. Real supporters are steady, not opportunistic. Pay attention to how people handle criticism. A person's reaction to feedback tells you more about them than their words ever will. At the end of the day, you don't need empty compliments. You need people who will challenge you, help you grow, and keep you grounded. Surround yourself with honesty, not manipulation. Seek truth, not flattery. And most importantly, stay true to yourself. The truth without resentment. What if I told you that some of the biggest obstacles in your life weren't your own failures, but the people around you? That might sound dramatic, but hear me out. Success isn't just about skill or hard work. It's also about the people you surround yourself with. Some will uplift you, while others will subtly, or not so subtly, hold you back. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If anyone can prove me wrong, show me my mistake, or bring me a better idea, I will gladly change. I seek the truth, which never harmed anyone." Now notice something important here. He doesn't say, "I seek being right." He says, "I seek the truth." But here's the problem. Many people aren't interested in truth. They're interested in looking good, in maintaining control, in feeding their own insecurities. So, how do you tell the difference between someone who genuinely wants the best for you and someone who is quietly hoping for your downfall? Well, let's break it down. 1. The trap of comparison. Imagine this. You just got a promotion. You're excited. You worked hard for this. You tell your friend, expecting them to celebrate with you. But instead of a simple "congratulations," they say, "Wow, already?" Most people take years to get that position. Nice. But Jake got an even bigger raise last month. That's cool, but in my industry, those roles pay way more. Now, on the surface, none of these comments seem outright negative. But notice what's missing. Genuine enthusiasm. Instead of just being happy for you, they subtly shift the focus. They plant a seed of doubt. This is comparison disguised as conversation. It's a classic move of the insecure. Instead of celebrating your success, they remind you that it's not that impressive. They frame your achievement as small or ordinary, because deep down it threatens them. And we all do this sometimes. But the real question is, how often does someone do it? Is it an occasional slip-up, or is it a pattern? Test them. The next time they compare you to someone else, calmly say, "That's interesting, but I don't measure my success against others. I'm happy with what I've accomplished, and that's all that matters to me." If they're genuinely secure, they'll accept it. If they're envious, they'll get defensive. The lesson? Pay attention to how people react when you succeed. The right people will clap for you. The wrong ones will subtly try to shrink you. 2. How people handle failure. A person's true character isn't revealed when things are easy. It's revealed when things fall apart. Let's say 2 people get fired from their jobs. The first person says, "It sucks, but I should have seen it coming. I could have done better. Time to figure out my next step." The second person says, "My boss had it out for me. This company is rigged against people like me. I got unlucky." See the difference? The first person takes responsibility. The second blames everything but themselves. This isn't just about work. Look at how people handle breakups, arguments, and disappointments. Are they willing to admit their mistakes? Or is it always someone else's fault? History is full of people who handled failure in completely different ways. Napoleon Bonaparte, for example, lost a war that he started. But instead of admitting fault, he blamed the weather, the generals, fate itself. Now compare that to someone like Marcus Aurelius, who faced war, political betrayals, and even personal tragedy, but always asked, "What can I learn from this?" The lesson? Surround yourself with people who take accountability. The ones who never do, they'll eventually blame you too. 3. The way they talk about success. Just as failure reveals character, so does success. Imagine 2 people just bought their dream homes. The first person says, "I feel so grateful. It took years of saving, but I finally made it happen." The second says, "Yeah, well, it wasn't that hard. Honestly, anyone could do it if they worked smart." See the difference? One acknowledges the journey, the other minimizes it. And when you succeed, you'll see this too. Some people will genuinely be happy for you. Others will feel the need to compete. You might hear things like, "That's great, but I've done something similar before." "Oh, you think that's impressive? You should see what I did." A secure person doesn't need to one-up you. They don't see your success as a threat. But an insecure person, they will. This applies to everything: work, fitness, relationships. If someone can't let others have their moment without shifting the spotlight back onto themselves, It's a sign of insecurity. The lesson: surround yourself with people who celebrate with you, not people who turn every moment into a competition. 4. Trust your gut. Here's the final and most important test. How do you feel around this person? How many times have you ignored that weird gut feeling that something was off? Maybe they say all the right things, but something just feels insincere. Maybe their compliments seem forced. Maybe, despite their outward support, you don't fully trust them. That isn't paranoia. That's perception. There's a concept in psychology called thin slicing, which means that your brain picks up on patterns before you consciously recognize them. So when you get that feeling, pay attention. The Stoics taught that wisdom isn't just about observing others, it's about trusting yourself. Marcus Aurelius put it best: dig within. Within is the wellspring of good, and it is always ready to bubble up if you just dig. Translation: your instincts are probably right. If someone consistently leaves you feeling drained, doubting yourself, or questioning your worth, you don't need proof. You just need distance. Final thought: the signs are always there. The subtle comparisons, the way someone handles success and failure, the inconsistencies in their words and actions. You cannot control others, but you can control where you invest your energy. Pay attention. Watch who is genuinely happy for you. Notice who handles both praise and criticism with grace. Most importantly, trust yourself. Your progress is not a competition. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. So keep them clear. Keep your circle strong. And focus on what truly matters.